All right, hey guys, Rifkin and Zomgrab here, coming at you from the new place, and I'm unfortunately a giant who can't really fit in this frame properly, so I'm gonna do the best I can. We've got the WCS changes up on one of our monitors. We're trying to screen region it too to show you guys what's going on. We have not read this yet. We've just gotten the information. We're gonna give you our best attempt at an honest opinion. Um, what happened to not moving? You already lied to me. There you go.
If I move forward to read it, then I get it, then I put it in.
Okay, well, can I make this more transparent? This is good. I just finished saying like we're gonna do this on the fly. There, we'll do a little transparent like that, I guess. All right, so let's talk about the big one. Bigger total prize pool. I think this is fucking awesome and amazing. For those who don't know, there's actually some behind-the-scenes rivalry when it came to each Blizzard's division of prize pools. I don't think anyone was really upset, but a lot of people were like, "Why does X get this prize money? Why don't X or Y get this prize money?" And a lot of it obviously was like people going, "I don't understand why StarCraft gets such a big prize pool." Because Hearthstone has 3 times the viewership and all this nonsense. But I think at the end of the day, the biggest thing to consider is like the CEO of Blizzard loves StarCraft, and that's always going to play a big influencing factor. And I don't know if that determines this, but it does make me feel really good to see that we got such big money coming in for StarCraft. So it increased from the 1.6 million last year to 2 million, over 2 million, pardon me, with a $500,000 BlizzCon finals finish. That's gonna be cool.
That's nice.
Keep in mind, folks, this is for like the year of WCS. This isn't just like one tournament worth $2 million, although that would be pretty sick. This is something we had heard some rumors too, but we hadn't seen clarification on. Sorry, scroll too low on that. The 2 tournament standings. So the WCS points system will be split into 2 versions. Basically, WCS standings Korea, which represents the highest level of competition as they outlined, and then the WCS circuit. So it's kind of it. It's Korea versus the world.
It is.
This is something I don't love this, to be
Neither do I.
honest. And I'm not going to get too negative, and this isn't something that's going to strike a chord with my passion, but I think you're going to hear different reviews from the players depending on their caliber of play than you will from anyone else on this change. There are some folks who are like this because it means more stable money, with foreigner versus foreigner only, bigger chances for folks like Huck to win and keep winning.
Sure.
I think the downside, though, is that this essential segregation of Koreans means we're going to have very few Koreans at any of these events. So you're not going to have Solar going to an IEM anymore to win. And while it was kind of laughable at DreamHack seeing him win so easily, that was some of the best practice in the world his opponents were getting. And because they don't play on the ladder or can't play on the ladder with him regularly, they're not even going to get that minuscule amount anymore, which kind of sucks. So, the big example, I've brought this up so many times on stream, in person with Blizzard employees, about how Europe saw the best benefit. Was it 2 years ago whenever they had like
Yes.
the TCM house and all that? You had all the players living in Europe playing on the European server. Now we're scrolling down, so maybe there's something about this, but if there's nothing here to help have the Koreans that are currently sticking around play on the server, this doesn't really do anything, I feel, other than give Pulse an easier time in WCS America.
Yeah, I'm holding back until we can finish it, basically.
Well, additional tournament support, Premier League consistent action through the year. Studio
Oh, wait,
broadcast cannot
what about the
match.
circuit standings?
Oh, sorry. WCS circuit standings. Sorry, the screen region here does not match what I have on my monitor. Sorry, guys. The evolution of the previous year's WCS Premier League will provide a proving ground for stars in other regions through a variety of tournaments around the world. These tournaments will be residency locked, so again, that whole Korea versus the world thing, to help focus on providing more opportunities to expose, develop, and celebrate the top talent from regions outside of Korea. At the end of the year, 8 players will move on from each system to participate in the WCS Global Playoffs. So
Oh.
again, that's at the end of the year for BlizzCon. Half of the round of 16 is going to be Koreans. The other half
Well,
is going to be
so
everyone
continuing
else.
on, though, they say the WCS Global Finals will still feature the best players regardless of regions. Only the top 8 from the WCS Global Playoffs will move on to battle it out in the main stage.
Oh, so this will be like they do that week of preliminaries anyway.
Yeah.
So it'll be the same for. I think it'll be the same system and the same format for BlizzCon.
But they're still keeping it the blowout section, basically, at actual BlizzCon. Because one of the biggest things that we talked about, and like, at the time Kim agreed with, is that like if you had up on stage the biggest venue of the year on Friday, these Europeans probably, because I don't think there's a lot of Americans going through, versus the Koreans, then it would just be like really stupid, and people would go on Friday and just be like, well, what's the hype about? Like that looked really easy.
Yeah.
But they kind of get rid of that, but it's still like I still have other issues with it. But
Well,
that's probably a better way to go.
I mean, it's like too is you couldn't even get tickets to go see that round of 16 and stuff this year. I remember there's a lot of complaints about that.
Yeah, and there might be less complaints. I mean, but the thing is, that still sucks though, because we are almost at that point where we have one European at least who is the up and comer who can beat Koreans, and that is really really hype. Maybe in the future we have two or three or whatever, and they'll still probably lose to the Koreans. What we've seen from the past, but to still have that off camera sucks, because that would actually might be a close series, like a 3-2. There's really no perfect system for that, but I guess I like it better like this. If I'm gonna go there and I wasn't like deeply involved in the scene, I would want to see like the top competition like it was promised me. If I bought a BlizzCon ticket.
Yeah. Next section is actually really good, though. I like this. There's nothing negative I could say or pick apart from this, because the TLDR is this section here is the most important. WCS circuit tournaments are going to receive bonus prize pool support, so that's more money for the players to win directly from Blizzard, and players who qualify through designated WCS circuit qualifiers will also receive support and travel to compete in these events. So one of the big questions we had when we were talking and hypothesizing what was going on was, could somebody who like Showtime, who was teamless at the time, now on Millennium, shout out, could he afford to go to all these WCS events and even have a chance to break out? So it's good to see that they're going to support the players who actually qualify through.
Yeah.
Now, it's worth noting that this does mean certain tournaments are no longer going to be as open as before. DreamHack's going to lose that edge if they're involved with this. For example, no more DreamHack Open. It would just be DreamHack Qualifiers / WCS.
Yeah.
So this could change and shape the way a lot of events go, but we have to see which ones fall under the system.
Yeah. I mean, the first section, basically, if this is like, if you're only watching this, you didn't actually read it yourself, the first section just went over how WCS is actually like basically no longer happening for Europeans and Americans.
Yeah, no more WCS qualifiers, Challenger, and Premier League, as you guys know.
So everything is going into basically what everyone complained about when the system was first put in. They're trying to kind of just like go back in time and fix, which is going to cause a lot of problems, but what they were originally told this would have been the best situation, where you had MLG, DreamHack, IAM, Red Bull, the Texas tournament or whatever, all of them actually having the time, the actual time, like the schedule, and not being over, like, have their players overrun with tournaments to actually do the tournaments. But because WCS came in, a lot of the complaints was there's no time to schedule broadcasts. It's become like the main important thing, so no one else really wants to put money into it, So they're trying to like go back in time and put it back to what that was. So no WCS, but a lot more focus on DreamHack, IAM, and Red Bull. But the actual like possibility of getting some of those kind of more B tournaments, that's what we'll call them, sure, like Lone Star Clash, that's the Texas one I was thinking of, as well as some of the other ones that existed, it's still like a really big challenge. Like, what I'm worried about for this system is, like, first of all, how much money are they really putting into it? They said they're increasing the prize pool, but that actually might not include...
Well, we already know that they're putting in over $2 million into this year. So it's more money than last year. So
it is more money, but
if
where?
theoretically... Well, that's the thing. We don't know where yet.
Yeah, exactly.
But theoretically, if they could support all the players last year comfortably, and they're putting more money into it this year, I kind of feel like it's still going to be the same level of support, if not better.
Well, that's what I think what they plan on doing, though, is what I'm trying to get to, which is not only increase the prize pool, but also additionally to the prize pool that increase, still support the travel. Because they said prize pool increase. They didn't say like money increase in general. So they might still have a large portion of money that isn't in that $2 million that is going directly to paying for flights as well as hotels.
Maybe. I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll see. Obviously, after the first couple events, we'll hear complaints about whether players get support or not. I was going to say that one of the nice things about StarCraft, and this really goes out a long way when it comes to the organizer standpoint of view, is it's still a 1v1 game, which is pretty important.
Right.
And it's a lot easier for Blizzard to give money to something like this because they don't have to fly 5 people for a team out or 8 people for a team out with sub-ins and stuff like this. So it makes a lot of sense that they would have the money and the budget to do this, where they might not be able to so easily for other divisions. It's good overall that they're investing, though. I'm happy. We'll see how that plays out.
The problem, though, might be that where there was an overflowing amount of tournaments, there might be too few tournaments now, too.
Yeah, well, again, that's one of those things time will have to tell. This next part kind of starts to talk about the Korean spots more, I guess. Outlining the way the points are going to work. So, well, the WCS point standings have created some exciting moments leading up to the WCS finals. We want to help the path to the WCS finals to consistently have this level of excitement across the year. To achieve this, players can earn a direct spot into the WCS Global Playoffs by winning the most prestigious events of the year. So a total of 7 spots will be up for grabs for the championship winners. This includes 4 spots from the WCS Korea system, GSL, SSL, and 3 spots from the WCS Circuit system, the Winter Championship, Spring Championship, and Summer Championship.
Huh.
Now, I'm wondering if that's DreamHack, because that sounds like DreamHack, but I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder.
The remaining spots will be awarded to the top earners of each of these standings, 4 spots in the WCS Korea system, and 5 spots in the WCS system. This is really cool to me,
Okay.
because for those who don't know, basically put this in terms that would make sense from last year. If you won an IEM, if you won a DreamHack, or you won a Red Bull, it's basically saying by winning one of these, it actually locks you into the
Yeah.
end of the year final. So, what that could be good and bad though, because for example, if you're say I don't know, who's a good for it? Let's say you're Little Bow, right? Hype
Okay.
guy from last year, and you win the very first DreamHack of the year. You actually literally don't have incentive
Yeah.
to play for the rest of
That
the year.
was actually a problem in not last year's WCS system, but the year before that, when they had not only the championships but also the region championships. Remember, like first it was in Korea, then Europe, and it was right after like the SSL finals. People complained that it had no hype, and then their other complaint was that basically you could have Innovation win GSL and then win the Korean finals as well, and that was a ton of points, and it basically like locked him in from the get go. I think MVP actually that was the entire reason he was even in the finals. No, was he in the finals? I don't even remember. But basically, some people actually like they were afraid they would get locked in and then not have to practice anymore for the global finals. But that didn't really happen.
I think it's still a concern worth mentioning though, where this is something that could happen, not that it will necessarily. Because I think
Yeah, well,
we know most of the pros at this point, and it's safe
Yeah.
to say most of them have that work ethic to just keep improving, even if there's no money and no points involved.
Yeah, luckily StarCraft 2 seems to be stable enough to support someone for a year at least.
Yeah.
So
But that's still cool. I like that they're doing that because that does add a lot more weight to winning. Because, like, let's be honest. Oh, you want a dream hack? Oh, you must be a Korean on my insanity. Who cares? Like, like.
yeah, my question is, do they keep they can't possibly keep points for first place though because you're already locked in.
Yeah, I guess we'll see how that works out. Again, we're gonna start getting into the format stuff here, so maybe we'll learn it as we go. So a quick look at this graphic is it just
hold
shows the
on.
split. I'm actually
Blizzard
gonna make this bigger.
will sponsor regional cups to increase opportunities for regional competition throughout the year.
Hang on one sec. I just want to make this bigger before we talk about that. So what?
Like scroll up a
Yeah. In addition, hang on.
scroll
I
more.
was doing mouse things. Give me a second. Jeez, it's the one thing right here.
Okay.
Sorry, Yord. You getting covered for a sec. In addition to the WCS systems, Blizzard will sponsor regional
What?
cups to increase opportunities for regional competition throughout the year.
What-
So I'm wondering if that means.
But even above that, the GSL and SSL cross finals. I didn't hear about that.
With a more evenly distributed prize pool in the GSL, we want to make further incentivize players to strive to become the best of the best. Players who win the GSL and SSL tournaments each season will face off to determine the top player in the WCS Korea system. So I guess basically instead of saying like, oh, you want a dream hack and that's good enough, they're going to be like, okay, you guys both won one of the championships. Now you'll do that to determine who would win the equivalent of a dream hack.
Interesting.
That's how I read that, at least.
Potentially problematic, as we, they both the same player, but okay.
Maybe. Well, I'm sure they would defer to second place or something then. But okay, this I guess kind of outlines the. It's basically everything we just read over, but in like graph form.
Let's see. GSL and Star League. Great. There's 2 seasons. There was 3 seasons last year. So. But then where is that thing they're talking about? The SSL and GSL crossover.
I think that's what thhow saying. Like, you see how it's in one bunch? Like the winner of this.
Nah, because there's still 4 trophies.
I don't. Let's keep reading. I don't know. We keep trying to jump the gun on a lot of this stuff, and I'm sure like we'll see information as we go. So Korea standings. The WCS Korea open to all players globally. Yeah, okay. Represent the most competitive StarCraft 2 tournament, blah, blah, blah. To make it more people follow these exciting tournaments, schedule. Oh, Army's going to have a boner about that. In order to earn points for the WCS Korea standings, players must compete in one or both of the 2 official leagues. Okay, this is all just pretty standard stuff, like babies first.
Well, they say players can also earn WCS Korea. Oh, no, that's just, wait. hold on. Wait, what? Go
Top
back up.
WCS no, up here where?
WCS third-party tournament organizers can apply to host a Blizzard-approved WCS Global. Okay, that's not what I was looking at. Stop. Go up. Players can also earn WCS Korea points by competing in sanctioned WCS Global events. I thought they weren't allowed.
I don't know, man.
Well, the GSL is now by Africa, so that makes sense.
Before we even scroll down, I wonder if there's going to be rules. Like, so, can they broadcast to Twitch? And if they do, are they able to fucking quality gate it again?
Oh, they're definitely broadcasting to Twitch.
Cross finals. Here we go. See? 2 top GSL versus 2 top SSL. Oh, this is that Archon. That's what that. So there's an Archon prize pool laid out. I think like I saw someone tweet earlier. So that's the cross finals, I guess.
So the cross finals just seem to be for money.
Yeah, that's a lot of money though.
Yeah, it's purely for money, but it's a lot of money.
What's that? What's that in like American dollars?
$30,000.
That's a lot of money. The WCS circuit standing is an evolution of last year's WCS Premier League. Okay,
That's a lot of words.
It's basically describing how it's swapping over.
Residency locked. Anything important about where they paired everyone? No, everyone's just lumped up. Sure, the purpose is to get homegrown heroes.
Yeah, this is pretty. This has nothing really super special in it. Prize pool $150,000. 32 players. First place WCS seeds. Okay, so that's cool.
Okay.
Regional champions. So, oh yeah, they're just bunching everyone in Europe. So I'm curious how they'll do that online. I guess it won't be online. Well, because qualifiers will be online, right? They'll probably still do qualifiers online for your computer at home.
Probably.
And then once you fly out, that's where the.
Why do they call it WCS Regional Challenger? I mean, isn't it really just WCS not Korean Challenger?
Because look, that would not be cool, right?
Okay, 2 tiers. Okay, so they have to apply to tiers. Each WCS circuit event will be an international. No, doesn't matter. I thought maybe they're going to talk about flights.
Blizzard 5000 boost. What's this? Any WCS 2500 circuit event can apply to be boosted by Blizzard to the 5000 level with the additional $25,000 in prizing sponsored by Blizzard to increase the grand total of each boosted event to $50,000. Blizzard will also sponsor 8 players in the. Okay, so like let's say, theory-wise, we do Hell's Boot Time 2, and we raise enough money to have a $25,000 prize pool and meet all these requirements. That means we could be like, hey Blizzard, can we get WCS points and can furthermore basically double our prize pool? That's pretty cool. That's pretty awesome.
That's free. That's kind of the problem that I was talking about. They're helping it. Like if Lone Star Clash really did want to come back, but they were like, I don't know, to have such a big boost would definitely help. I mean,
this might be how they plan to fill the gaps.
Yeah, $50,000 tournaments were not that common to begin with. So to make them
last year the requirements were $10,000. That's what you had to do to apply for WCS points.
Yeah, but still, I mean.
So I'm just saying it's more than double the requirement,
yeah.
But the fact that you can essentially double that further is kind of crazy.
Yeah, $50,000. I was gonna say $50,000 tournaments didn't happen very often, and now they could potentially be quite common.
Yeah, it's just more points, bigger tournament style. I guess one thing to talk about that too, really quick, for those who don't know, the only downside to that. So devil's advocate on getting $25,000 your prize pool doubled for free is Blizzard does take a lot of control. This is why we chose not to have WCS points for Hell's Boot Time. We had the option, we had the offer. Whether that would have actually gone through or not, I don't know, because we declined it right off the bat when we learned that they would take pretty much full control of the thing. So you may see some tournaments who are based through sponsorships still say no to that because, you know, not that nobody wants free money, but they actually have obligations that they can't fill if they work with Blizzard.
I mean, like, what if they were sponsored by Pornhub?
Exactly. I mean,
it's happening.
Fly me out there. I'd like to meet those models. All right. Global playoffs. Okay, this is pretty much all the format stuff we already seen. Pricing is actually kind of interesting. 16th place is $10,000. That's pretty sweet. Because they had there's weird different setups. Like Challenger League was like a $2,000 prize. Premier was like $5,000. Like you kept jumping up and up and up the ladder, but now it's just like, look, you place or you don't, I guess.
Here's BlizzCon. BlizzCon as a first place prize is $200,000.
Jesus,
that's pretty good.
That's a lot of money. That's like this year's BlizzCon total.
5th through 8th is also quite a bit of money. I mean,
yeah, $15,000, nothing to scoff at.
Okay, the Korean system.
I gotta be honest, I don't really care about the prizing or points for this.
40,000 for first place for both is pretty nice. I'm just more curious as to what if they're mentioning anywhere in there that they are locked into Korea.
That's the rumors we've heard, but I gotta imagine with everything else being region locked the way it is, as we keep going down, I'm sure we'll see something with residency requirements.
Yeah. Well, they did mention residency. I mean, they might have circumvented saying straight off the bat, "Hey, Koreans aren't allowed," just by saying, "Hey, this is region locked."
Um,
Because they brought up the region locks.
I'm wondering if there's another because Aramy was linking something I didn't even see in this one. Let me just pull this up and run it real quick. Grab one of the other links because I guess there's two. The circuit system, though. So like I don't know what to say about this, right? Like I'm both happy and a little bit skeptical. No, this looks like it's the same article.
Well, yeah, same article.
So I don't know where Aramy had that tweet at, but there's a very interesting point somewhere that was like, yo, maybe it's under the requirements blog, where you couldn't. Oh, here we go. Residency requirements and all this. Let's put this up. You couldn't have events that clashed. That was a big deal. Like you couldn't have an IM and a DreamHack overlap each
Okay.
other. So that's
Yeah.
what I was looking for.
So people participating has to be physically present, so no foreigners playing online. Makes sense. So it's always been.
Yeah.
Resident of
Europe,
the country
Africa,
within the
Middle East.
WCS home region.
Where I guess does Mexico just get looped in Latin America then?
Yeah,
Okay.
they specified USA and Canada.
Visa requirements. So you can't just get a holiday visa, no expired visa. Well, that makes sense. These are actually pretty much the same visa requirements as last year, just actually written out. Travel and
Yeah.
residence requirements. This is what I'm interested in. All right. Non-citizens must demonstrate habitation of residence in the region 1 month before they're eligible for the WCS circuit qualifier. So Polt can't live in Korea the week before WCS. He'd have to actually be here for the month ahead of time. I'm using him as an example. Let's be
I know.
honest.
It's so funny that you did because wasn't like the first season this year that he got super trouble because he actually wasn't.
Yeah, actually, so that's a
America.
bad example. He was not in America for a lot of the year, actually. But that's good, though, because the thing about putting people here a month early isn't just that it's, okay, you lived here for a month, you've proved it to us. It's that you will have been, during that time period, practicing ideally on the ladder. Now, obviously, most of the time in North America, they go to Korea to practice, but still...
Oh, whoa! This is weird.
Where am I going to?
Participants may only. You're like almost there. Participants may only travel for non-competitive reasons 5 weeks per WCS competitive year. That's so odd. That's like restricting their vacation. Not that anyone
That
takes,
also
like,
means,
6
like-
weeks vacations, but
Yeah, but that also means, like, let's say you've got a girlfriend on the East Coast, you live on the West Coast, like, you can't go see each other. That kind of sucks.
yeah. I mean, it's not going to affect a lot of people, and obviously, I guess it's in there so that people don't like.
But like non-competitive,
I don't know,
like
boost.
I guess a lot of this is gonna be what does non-competitive mean? Because what if you want to go train in the Mayan Standard House in Europe?
That's what I think they're trying to stop. Is people going over to train in Korea?
I think that's a terrible idea if that's actually
that-
the
if
goal
that
of it.
is-
I think that might be an accidental result, but if that's the goal, I think that's terrible.
Yeah, that's like a rite of passage for being like the best StarCraft 2 player.
I guess this is probably more. If I had to guess, is more aimed at the people who do go back home to Korea, live there for 5
Probably.
months, and come back to play for WCS. I hope this doesn't hurt foreigners. Ladder requirements is actually interesting because I remember they had to axe this due to people cheating it before. So let's see what it says. Participants are required to play all tournament and ladder games required of them from the country listed on the account during the tournament season. Participants are required to win 100 ladder games per month in their home region.
Oh, per month.
So this is interesting for two reasons. One, first off, there was a requirement before you had to win like 250 games on
Yeah.
the server. And what ended up happening is you had players, Jigua, no, was it Jigua? No, IA. I think it was IA and someone else. They were win trading,
Yeah.
basically. They would just join a game, leave, join a game, and leave. So it got
was,
removed. The requirement got removed.
That was only also before the qualifier. Like you had to check your account.
Yeah.
So this would be every single month.
I like this though because this is the incentive to play. This is the incentive to actually sit there and be like, look, okay, you guys
Yeah.
can't just coast by jumping back and forth between
It's
Korea.
also an insurance that they can't somehow circumvent the other rules and then still like be in Korea and playing.
Yeah, they have
'Cause
to
they would
win
have to show
100 on
100
NA.
and like their payment would be terrible and they wouldn't want to.
All right, that's not really important for anyone watching. It's more organizers. Exception for long-term standing residency, the eligibility of not important. Okay, here we go. Sanctioned event requirements. Map pool has to be.
I don't know. It says the
ladder-
events awarded WCS Global points and open to any player in the world.
I don't know, man. That really conflicts directly with the whole residency. So maybe it means like it's open to anybody, but you have to go through these checks first. Like
I
it's like
guess
going
so.
like through security at the airport. Um,
They said use ladder or other maps approved by Blizzard, so
so
hopefully they're open to a little
I doubt they will. They had this
diversifying.
last year, but they wouldn't even let us use Catalina, a previous ladder from previous season that it was approved. Um,
They said at least 25% of the spots must be tamed with an open qualifier.
okay,
So,
so you can't do purely invite only stuff. Um, there are 3 WCS Circuit Championships.
global stream broadcasting free 27p in English. So, still a
So,
requirement, but we'll see if they
I mean, it was
actually-
technically a requirement last year,
Yeah.
but I hope they enforce it.
3 WCS Circuit Championships events in 2016.
Yeah, so that was the summer, winter,
Yeah,
and spring
so
or
what are
whatever.
they specifically?
We don't know. We'll find
Says
out, I
map,
guess.
sees simulations.
Branding and stuff's all we know. Okay, so this is all stuff we just basically went over, just actually outlined.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Let's just wrap it up here. And what do you think? Overall impression?
So, I mean, overall, this has been presented in a very like nothing's that bad kind of light. A lot of people are gonna read this and not have like an insane reaction. But when we first heard what this was, and we weren't too far off from what we heard, like there should be like a lot of outrage. I don't think people are gonna recognize what this actually means until it's actually implemented. And basically, for me, as a Korean fangirl, like I only really want to watch Koreans, to be honest. Like I love some Europeans and I have some like NA favorites, but for me, Korea or almost nothing. The Koreans are not going to be traveling outside of Korea anymore. You're going to see Pult and Jaedong and Hydra and
Maybe
it?
Violet or
oh
True.
Violet, sure.
I guess yeah, because what sucks for me too is like we don't get a lot of events in NA right now, and again, this may or may not cause more to happen depending on that Blizzard support. But even then, the ones that pop up, they're not going to have. I'm not going to. I got to see Flash last year at IEM Toronto.
Right.
Never. That's never going to happen again.
That blows my mind that no one is going to be able to do like they'd have to go to Korea to finally meet like Flash, right? Unless he wasn't retired. Like that just seems that's what we were given in StarCraft 2, which we did not have in Brood War, and I don't know. It makes me like really sad, I suppose. You're also like gonna have tournaments that are actually like they are going to be region locked. I mean, Europe ended up being pretty region locked because of its ping and whatnot, and it wasn't a bad WCS.
Well-
People liked it.
So the point of region lock, though, I want to put this out there. I am 100% against region lock just in general, but the one upside I can see from it is, and I know this is their goal from talking to so many people on Blizzard's end, they want to create something sustainable where players can try to make like a living off of it. And I
Yeah.
think they hope that 5 years down the line type thing, they'll be stable enough that they are practicing enough that they can be like Korean tier level now. And I can kind of understand that logic of like you got to take the hurt now for it to benefit later. But I do think it stinks that we won't get to see Koreans in most foreign events, most likely.
So what we're probably going to see for Koreans is a lot of retirements because this has actually gone even more top heavy, with a lot of the prize pool being sent out to this GSL versus SSL matches of the winners. And I'm also not like Europe seems honestly to benefit the most from this. Europe has typically had IAM and DreamHack, so their flights or in often cases trains weren't as expensive as sending a North American or a Korean, obviously. And they have already kind of benefited from that 2013 system. So a lot of them are already like a lot better. You would rank Korea, Europe, and NA. So I'm really scared that Europeans are going to be like, well, we missed our Korean practice partners. That was really helpful, but we're still doing pretty good. But NAs are still like North Americans will be like, well, what do we practice for now? Like, I hope I can get into a DreamHack. Like that's still going to be super duper hard. And I mean, it really helps that apparently Blizzard's going to like pay for them to go over there. But to even get in there, how hard is that going to be? I mean, well, of course, have to wait and see. But I don't know if it'll actually benefit the North Americans that much.
I just imagine the chance to win money is alone like the difference of signups. For example, we did those two Corsair Cups.
Hmm.
One was open to anybody. We had Beyond win it. The other was region locked, and we sadly didn't have as many pros sign up for it, but we did have more pros sign up for the second one. Perhaps with the appeal of simply being there's no Korean blocking my way to victory. So again, I don't think it's something you're going to see like a crazy immediate result for, but over time might be better. I know a lot of pros are saying that this new system is going to be really healthy for the foreign scene, and maybe. I just, as an organizer point of view, not even just a fan point of view, I'm not hyped about it, to be honest.
Yeah, me too. I'm not very excited to. I mean, eventually we might have heroes come up from North America, because I think we already have heroes from Europe, but it's going to take a long time, and in esports, even a year is a super long time,
Hmm.
and I think most people are projecting like 3 years. So that's, I mean, there could be there could be a lot of different things in 3 years. So I don't like that there won't be Koreans anymore. It's gonna be really sad not to see them live, be able to go visit them in person at like Austin this next year or something like that. And it's also going to cause a lot of retirements. So we know, of course, people in Korea who are not really happy with this at all. And what is an interesting point though is that oddly enough, people like BaseTradeTV basically might be able to benefit from this in a very odd way.
Yeah, if we end up being the only show in town that has Koreans.
Exactly. Like, I mean, if in 6 months, like next year in June, people are like, man, I really wish when like True would come in here and be really exciting. I really wish Solar would come back, and I really wanted to meet X and Y, but I'll never be able to because I'm never going to go to Korea. And we're like, hey, we could host a tournament, like, and we don't have to be bound by WCS. Like, how much would people actually really want that? And of course, online cups might also see a significant viewer boost because that would be the only place that you would find your Koreans.
Yeah. I'm definitely excited to see how this affects us. I'm also scared to see how this affects us because it could go the complete opposite direction. But um, I think just all in all, I have no strong feelings about this being positive. I don't have a ton of it being negative. I'm slightly tilted towards negative, but I think for players, this is a good thing. For fans, it's up in the air. I think is how I summarize that.
I suppose I am really quite worried about NA, and I'm very curious to see how it's going to work out next year. If we're going to see a more North Americans rise up, because like I said, I think Europeans are pretty good to go. They had a solid basis, but Europeans were always the ones that were like the hopes, like Lil Bao obviously coming up, Snoot always, looking to be the Korean killer. They're the ones that caused the most excitement. It was North America that was really hurting from having the WCS originally implemented, where it was just basically Korea point 0.5.
One of our friends on Skype here brings up a point that completely, I think we talked about briefly, but Korea we already know is really top heavy.
Yeah.
Uh, if there is nothing else in Korea this year other than GSL SSL type
Yeah.
thing, man, like you talked about retirements, but like you guys have to understand people who basically aren't the top 16. No, fuck that.
Yeah.
Like if you're not the top 8 already,
That's what I said. Top mass retirements will be going down in Korea, guaranteed.
I mean, we already knew of a couple that were coming because of military service, but I feel like
Yeah.
this information could cause a lot more.
There are plenty of Koreans who, like, Hyun is the biggest, most obvious example of someone who thrived on foreign tournaments.
Yeah.
I mean,
He's at Homestar Cup right now.
in 2013, it was honestly kind of boring. I mean, I like Byun in person and as a player, but it was boring to see him win every single thing, like, in 2013. But even then, in 2014 wasn't nearly as bad. He won, like, a couple of things.
I just I'm hoping that they come up with something like whether it's creating their own thing
Yeah.
or having
It's-
DreamHack sanction a Korea event or something or
I think what really, like, because when we heard this, all we heard was Koreans are no longer allowed to participate and WCS isn't happening anymore. And we were guessing all over the place, like, well, they're going to give more money to, like, DreamHack? Is it going to be a bigger prize pool? Like, what are they going to do in Korea? From what they've actually written, they are aware that the bottom, like, not the top heavy, the top 8 guys, might still be in trouble. And that is nice to see. Like, the boost thing doesn't really hit the low level people. Like $25,000 is still a lot of money to raise before you even get a chance to get boosted, but it's still nice to see that they have an outline for smaller tournaments is nice too. But it still might be really top heavy. You might only ever still see like Huck, Scarlet, and I don't know what's in North American Major.
Yeah,
He's
majors.
Latin American. Go to DreamHacks and be the North American representation, but then no one else. So I think that from what we've kind of heard, not really. They might be more interested in lower tier tournaments as well, but there's no guarantee. And I think that would be the best way to ensure that people like all of the college students who play like intense in North America still have something to strive to. Because that was the best thing that WCS gave, especially last year, was that it was starting to look kind of reachable. Like you could get $2,000 just for reaching, just for actually winning the qualifier. That was starting to look like decent money, and you would put a decent amount of time into practicing for that specifically. But if it's back to being top heavy, then what's the point of them practicing and taking time off of school and whatnot?
Yeah, lots of different factors to consider. But let us know your guys' thoughts, your opinions. We've actually done this like one of the very few things we've ever done that's strictly for YouTube. So, comment section down below. Let us know your thoughts and how you feel this will or won't affect you as a viewer for the next year. Not just BaseTradeTV related stuff, but I mean in general. You're going to be watching DreamHacks, IEMs, Red Bulls. How you guys think this will impact you, and we'll be happy to read those comments. So thanks for watching. Our thoughts and our, I guess, a reaction. This is a reaction video. We didn't see this
Yeah.
before, and so you guys got to see our first reaction to the comments. And we'll see you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.